Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're just joining in, welcome to the channel. Either way, thanks for watching. Today we're going to be working on pulling the camshaft out. If you watched my last video, I was kind of set on pulling the gear off and everything, but that's kind of because my mind was set with using the other gear that I have. But when I found out that the gear was hardened, you know, my mind didn't, it had 2 and 2, but evidently math had changed yesterday and it didn't make 4, so but anyway, I slept on it and just got to thinking I don't even need to pull the cam off. I was going to try to make a tool to pull it off, which wasn't a guarantee that was going to come off because I'm hard pressed on there. And then basically I was going to take and ice the shaft and bake the gear and hope that I could get it on there, but there was still that possibility that I was going to have to take the cam out anyway. So I mean, it's no matter what turned out, there was still that chance that I wasn't going to be able to get the gear on there far enough, no matter what I did. So kind of switch gears on that, no pun intended. We got to pull I'm going to pull the cam out. Like I said, nothing needs to change on that, so I can pull that cam out of there. And so where I start with that, oil pan needs to come off. I'm pretty sure on this engine that the oil pump will need to come out. Actually, I'm almost positive on that. And then obviously valve train will have to come out, and I don't have, okay, well, I don't have a couple of things that I usually use for holding the dowels up, or holding the, I usually use wooden dowels to hold the cam followers up. Makes it a little bit easier, obviously. Well, makes it possible. But my daughters have since turned them into play toys, and I'm sure I'm not going to be able to find them. So I think what I'll do is, I've got these magnets, and they're pretty strong magnets. What I'll do is I'll take and get a piece of mechanic wire, and I'll just tape that magnet to it, and I'll drop it down into the top, and I'll hold the cam followers up, or the pushers, whatever you want to call them, or whatever your guys' lingo is where you're from. I'll hold them up with the wire. Actually sounds easier than the dowels, actually. So anyway, I guess I'll be trying something new. Hopefully that works out good for me. Hopefully by the end of the video today, we'll have the cam out, we'll have all of this stuff out, we'll have this off, and then yeah, we'll see how long that takes me, and yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, we'll see how far I get today. Alright, got you guys set up on the GoPro now. First step's going to be to clean this up a little bit. I cleaned up the fuel lines before I took them off, just with a rag and some brake cleaner, and cleaned them up pretty good. However, I got to get this all cleaned up and get some of this stuff off of there, so what I think I'll do is I'll give you guys a time lapse of that, and me taking the valve train out. So here we go. Alright, so I've got all of the valve train off. I was talking about the magnets with the wires, but that didn't work very well because the magnets were too small. So I actually took the push rods and taped a magnet to it. Put the push rod down into the pusher, and you can feel it up and down. Same with this one. So that's how I'm going to hold the push rods up out of the way to pull the cam out. Alright, so we had to take this hydraulic drive off. This is how we ended up doing that. What's going on with my phone here? Getting light glare. There we go. Wood in the clamp. Big stupid socket on the impactor, and somehow it came off, so that was that. Alright, so a few things have changed since the video went like this or faded out, whatever I decided to do. Anyway, a couple things have changed. We're looking, obviously you're looking at all of the timing cover and timing gears, and front mounting plate is gone. Camshaft is out of there. My little magnet trick worked excellent. All the pushers are up in there, cam followers, so that's good. This thing, we've got the old steering ram out. I'll end up building a plate to go over that, and then plugging this with something. And then also there's two plugs on down under here that I'll end up getting plugs for. Oh, and then one right here too. That hole will need to be plugged. Then I'll probably just fill that up to keep the gears in there good for whatever purpose. I don't know, maybe a little extra added weight on the front of it. It's kind of light. In order to take that ram out, you see this plate. A lot of you guys have probably never seen this plate off. Now, if you're doing this to repair it, make sure you don't booger these shims up. That's how you adjust it. Adjust your play. This rack over here, right here, this rack. Okay, you see the flat spot rides in that. Okay, so this is inside of here, and that's what pushes that rack into the gear in there to create the power steering from the ram, the power from the ram. So if you got a lot of play in there, them shims are something that you can start with. You can see if your shims are racked out, or if they're stuff's wearing out in here and you need to take a shim or two out. Then you can tighten some stuff up in your steering that way. So what else have we done? The oil pan is off. Oil pump did not need to come off to get the camshaft out, so that was a waste of time basically, but gave me a chance to look in there and kind of examine the bottom of the oil pan for any metal shavings, and everything checked out, so just created a little bit more work for myself. Not a big deal, but a little aggravating. Did I mention that I don't have a book for this engine? The older 301s, you had to take the oil pump out because there were shafts that run on it. Whatever. Not a big deal. Suffice it to say that this engine is not like that, so I was able to pull the cam out. Alright, so the timing cover, take you over here. Alright, so this is the old timing cover sitting on top of the new timing cover. As you can see, some modifications will need to be made. This will need to be trimmed down. This will need to be trimmed down. This will need to be cut out. And then these are the homemade brackets, makeshift brackets, mounting brackets for the front. Go here, and then that mounts to the frame. You'll see that them go out, and they're wider because this is out of a 190, so the frame rails are wider than the 19. So I'll have to drill the 2 holes so that I can get my mounting bracket on there. But other than that, it's all of the engine bolts. Every one of them lines up perfectly. This one, the pegs. Everything that mounts it to the engine lines up perfectly, so we're good to go there. One thing I think I mentioned is this one has studs as to where this one has bolts, which is not really a huge deal. I'll be able to work around that, obviously. Just if I ever have to take the fuel pump off, I'll have to take the cover off, which the timing cover has a separate cover to come off. I'll be able to get to all that, so it's not a huge deal on that aspect, I guess. So yeah, other than that, I think that's how far we made it so far today. Just trying to bring you guys up to date. I haven't been recording as much just because there's a lot of stuff to do here. If I recorded it all, I wouldn't get anything done, for one, and it'd make for a really long, boring video, I think. So we're getting after it. I'm gonna get some lunch, and we'll see what else I get done today. We'll bring you back. Alright everybody, so we're actually going to end the video here. It's getting to be about 4:15, and I didn't realize how late it was actually. Just been out here working and lost track of time. I gotta get in there and get some schooling done with my daughters. So next video will be cleaning everything up, getting cam back in, valve train back in, obviously the front mounting cover modified and put back on, and hopefully we can get the pump mounted and the fuel pump mounted back on there and get all of that stuff taken care of and sealed back up. So after that, then we'll just basically put the front of the engine back together, and we should have all of that stuff functional. So hopefully I'll get that done in the next video. My gasket set should be, I'm missing just a couple of gaskets. I have almost everything, and it was just cheaper to buy a whole set for it than it was to buy the ones that I needed. So I have a gasket set coming. That's supposed to be here, let me see, today. Yeah, that's supposed to be here tomorrow. By tomorrow. Yeah, by tomorrow. So, see me doing that, counting on my fingers? Yeah. Yeah, I hope I'm not the only one that still does that. So anyway, trying to think of what else I got going on with this. That's the biggest stuff, is getting all that stuff put back together, and then once we do that, we'll be figuring out hydraulic lines. I gotta figure out how to get the actuator up underneath here for measuring. I believe that it can be done, but I gotta figure that out. Then running hydraulic hoses back and forth and whatnot and what have you. I'll be headed up to the junkyard to get a cylinder. I thought that I had one of those around here, but it got used on a different project. So anyway, gotta go get a cylinder, and we'll see what I can find for tie rods that might make the job a little bit easier so I don't have to modify as much. So yeah, we'll be getting that. What else? And yeah, I'm probably jumping ahead about 3 videos or so, so I'll just stop there. And guys, I really appreciate you watching, and hope you're enjoying it so far. Let me know what you think of the video. Should I give you guys more me wrenching on stuff, or was this a little bit better, me taking it apart and just talking about it? Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate the feedback, and like I said, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, give me a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.